Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here, and you are very welcome, my friends. Even you who hate me are my friends. Anyway, there is outrage about the Avengers Endgame trailer and saying about the poster. Now, Denai Guerrero, is that how you say her name? Basically Michonne from The Walking Dead. But basically, she was not originally on the reveal for yesterday's poster for Endgame. So hours later, they came back and they actually put her on it. What a mess. Have you ever heard of anything? So I just don't get it. But people didn't stop there. MCU fans weren't happy because if you go back to the trailer, and I didn't actually notice this when I did my trailer reaction yesterday, apologies. So you see Iron Man, Tony Stark, stranded in space. He's giving his last message to Pepper. But then when you've got all of the Avengers in the white kind of, is it the Ant-Man suits, right? Also, who's there? Tony Stark, Iron Man, which basically confirms he doesn't die in space. He still may die within the movie, but that is kind of evidence there that he doesn't die in space. So that's really, really bad. That's a spoiler, right? Remember all you MCU fans who were heckling us DCEU fans because of the Doomsday reveal? I was actually quite pumped when I saw Doomsday in that trailer, but you guys couldn't help yourselves. Do you remember that? Do you remember when everyone hated the DCEU and loved... remember when everyone hated the DCEU and loved the MCU? It's turning around now with the vengeance, isn't it? Very, very exciting as a DCEU fan. But that's not it. So, remember in that bit between Thor and Captain Marvel, right? What happens? Yes, Brie Larson fans and Captain Marvel fans, yes, there are some, there's actually quite a few of them, are not happy because, wait for it, she's wearing lipstick and she's dressed up too nice. I mean, it is interesting the way she looks considering there's this kind of situation going on, but I do suspect that maybe, just maybe, that could be at the end of the movie where they're going to have a little bit of a bit of playfulness, and he gets his hammer and he goes, I like her. Then he walks off wherever he's going to go. Maybe that's why. It's not, look, that's nothing to be triggered about, but this is what I'm saying. This is what you do. Empires are destroyed from within. When you start trying to please these type of people, you will never win. They will always find something. Nobody should care how she's dressed. That's how they've decided to dress her. But of course, these people, these fans of Brie Larson, these fans of Captain Marvel, right, are getting all bent out of shape. And they're having a go at the directors, yes, because apparently men don't know how women should dress in a movie. Oh, please stop it. When did we stop enjoying movies? When did we begin to be so analytical instead of sitting back and saying, let me enjoy this trailer? It's a pretty neat trailer. It doesn't really give away too much. And obviously giving away Iron Man Still Alive is ridiculous. But there you go. They've been doing it ever since we saw Infinity War, confirming Spider-Man Far From Home, confirming other movies. Ridiculous. So there's been a lot of blowback from the marketing because the marketing was rushed to react to the positive reactions to Shazam. That is obvious for me. And when you're reacting like that, things are going to go wrong. They should have just released that trailer. Maybe that wasn't the trailer they were planning, but maybe they were planning to release one that shows a bit more at a later date. But I do feel, because they're feeling the pinch now. They really are, with the pressure and the venomous response to Brie Larson's comments, Captain Marvel, and everything that's going on. And she's looking at a very, very big drop-off this weekend, by the way, as well. I mean, look, the film's going to make a profit. The film's probably already made a profit. 500 million globally, not bad, is it, after a week? So, can't complain. And I'm not saying the box office is bad. But obviously, if Brie kind of sold her message in a more positive way, there wouldn't have been such a big kind of drop-off. Or maybe there would have been, because the film's okay. It's a typical solo movie, but it's not It's not a classic. And I think an origin film, a character's first film, is very, very important. And I think once you kind of you go through the motions with it, you're going to have a problem. But they don't care. They're going to make money. They're going to spin it because everything is spun these days. And of course, Endgame is going to make a lot of money no matter what happens. But how people perceive, you see, Endgame hasn't got an issue. Marvel movies right now don't have an issue about making money, but they're starting to get blowback, and that's serious because how people perceive a franchise is very important. This is the most successful IP in the history of Hollywood. There is no question about that. No one's made more money, right? Now, we know how it's done. Like Captain Marvel was put in every single movie house across the world. They really, tried to show that this film was making money. We know the tactics. We understand the tactics. But there you are. But Infinity, what am I talking about? Endgame can't have blowback because it's Endgame. It's an Avengers movie. Everyone's always sat there and enjoyed the Avengers movie. Even Avengers Age of Ultron, which did have issues and the critics didn't like universally, but it was a good film. It was okay, right? There was issues with that, but you could still sit back and enjoy that film. Do you know what I mean? If people are not happy how this concludes, who they've killed off, who they haven't killed off, how they leave the future of the Avengers saga, then there will be a problem. So this has to be perfect, especially with the blowback they're getting about Captain Marvel. But the blowback about Captain Marvel isn't solely about the film. It's about the lead. It's about what she's been saying. But this is what happens when you start being negative to the public. Listen, the consumer is king and queen. No matter what you think, what creatives are saying. I saw someone's talking about fan slapping, verified on Twitter, because the guy who who is it? Frank Oz, right? And basically, a fan said to him, "You don't know Yoda very well if you think it's okay what happened in The Last Jedi and what Yoda did with burning the temple down." And he said, "Excuse me, I literally created Yoda. I think I know Yoda better than you," which is a great point. You still don't have to agree that what happened with The Last Jedi and Yoda is a good thing, but he's right. So one of his friends, who's a verified, talked about fan slapping being a good thing. And I thought about this and I'm thinking, it's terrible now, isn't it? Twitter began being a place where creatives and the famous and celebrities and ordinary people like me and you could converse with people, and then you're getting this poisonous atmosphere. And this is what's happened with Brie Larson. And she's put pressure on the franchise. As I say, it's not about money. Everybody nowadays, New Age Hollywood fans think it's all about box office. Look at the box office. Your movie didn't do as well. It's not about that. It's about your enjoyment. It's about the consumer and the message the consumer puts out after you've seen it. For example, Batman v Superman had a divisive response. Captain America Civil War had a wholeheartedly positive response, you see, and they're basically the same film, right? So what I'm saying is the audience's perception of a film is actually more important than box office, because if the perception keeps on getting bad, then you're in trouble. So it's like Man of Steel was split, the kind of reaction. Batman v Superman was divisive. Suicide Squad, many of the fans enjoyed it, but the critics hated it, and of course the naysayers hated it. And it was an opportunity. Everybody loved Wonder Woman. Justice League had major issues in its production, so we know what happened there. But all of a sudden, the DCEU have got 2 hits. We hope Shazam's going to be a hit, but the fan reaction and the critic reaction so far looks very positive. So you're looking at 2 positive movies back to back. Never happened with the DCEU before. So we're starting to get somewhere. And it's flipping over, the negativity is flipping over to the MCU. And it all started with what Larson was saying. And as I said on the top of the show, empires are destroyed from within. And what happened with the poster with Denai Guerrera, not having her on there originally, showing that Tony Stark survives being stranded in space. The fans not being happy how Captain Marvel looks with the lipstick and looking good, well dressed. But at the end of the day, for me, that's neither here nor there. I don't care how she's dressed or if she's wearing lippy. But, and I suppose this is another thing, you can't really attack a film on its trailer. You can criticise what they've done within the marketing. Of course you can, but you can't judge the film on it. Personally, as pumped and as great job I think Kevin Feige's done with this whole universe, I haven't really seen anything in these trailers or this marketing to, if you take them on their own, if you don't think about Infinity War, if you look at the marketing so far, it hasn't really excited me. But because the marketing doesn't have to excite me or you, we're going to watch it. Everyone's going to watch it. It's going to make money. They don't even have to sell this movie. But of course, they're a business, so they're going to do it. So very, very interesting. But yes, I did say at the beginning of this year will be a very, very testing year for Disney and the MCU. And we haven't even got talking to Star Wars yet. Yes, because Star Wars should be releasing their trailer at this year's celebration, which I hear the actors and JJ will be at. Very interesting. It will be a friendly environment because the fans will be there. They won't be allowed to ask any testing questions. But I'm looking forward to seeing this trailer. Is it me, or does it feel like nobody actually cares about Star Wars anymore ever since The Last Jedi and Solo? It does feel that way, doesn't it? You know, even the trends don't last very long. In fact, I can't remember the last time Star Wars was trending. It's like those two movies absolutely killed anyone's enthusiasm for that kind of franchise. And it's crazy. Who thought this could happen to Star Wars after The Force Awakens made $2 billion? You know, Rogue One made over $1 billion, and everybody loved Rogue One, right? And then you get The Last Jedi, boom. Solo, even worse, boom. And all of a sudden, nobody really cares about this franchise anymore. I would say be very careful with your franchises. Never be arrogant enough that you think you can do whatever you want and people will just keep on coming back for more. They won't. Kevin Feige and the MCU, be warned.